which, well, that's another story in and of itself. But it's great to be here with you tonight. Again, I apologize if I've been keeping you waiting, and I know I've been keeping our special guest waiting too, and we'll announce her in just a second. But welcome to Stream Fundamentals Training Part 3. I'm Don Corrado, Senior Director at Stream, and we get together here every week on a Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we sort of just break down the basics of our business, and we teach people about the freedom plan. There's great training out there. Right now we've got mystreamtraining.com with Trey Dyer that he really just published that about a month or so ago, and it's phenomenal training that teaches people the freedom plan. We've been doing this since about the beginning of the year, where we get together around the Stream campfire here at 9:30 p.m., like I said, Eastern Time. And tonight, part 3 of a 4-part series where we, again, just kind of go through the freedom plan and break it down one piece at a time to keep everyone on the straight and narrow. This is our guidepost, the path, right? If we can just stay on the narrow path, we can have great success in this business as long as we do things consistently over the course of a long period of time. A compound effect that I have a feeling maybe our guest tonight might refer to once or twice. So we're going to talk about knowing your why, setting goals, and dream building in the context of course, your stream business. But as usual, you know, all of the elements that we talk about in the freedom plan are things that can apply to your own personal life as well. So listen, it's with extreme honor and tremendous privilege that I have the opportunity to announce our guest here for this evening, who I believe has been waiting patiently on the line for me to get this thing rocking and rolling all day long. She is a senior director down in Maryland, a Power of Leadership Award winner, and so much more than that. Just a great, great spirit, a bundle of energy. Charlene Day. Charlene, are you on the phone here with me? Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
hey.
I hear you perfectly fine. Just wonderful. So, yes, I'm here, everybody.
Oh, there we go.
Hi, John. How are you?
Charlene, you know what, guys, I'll just tell you right now, if you ever do one of these webinar deals here, it helps give the person that you are inviting the right contact information to get into the webinar. So, Charlene, I'm sure that was the case. It's my bad. So anyway, guys, we'll back up, and that's enough about me because our special guest is here. Charlene, it's awesome to have you on the call. I mean, we got to have a little bit of fun last night doing a business presentation, and your close was tremendous in that. Folks are here for the fundamentals training. I know you've been really pumped up about this since we, talked about it, just earlier this week, and we're thrilled to have you on here. So, welcome on. Why don't you tell folks a little bit about yourself, Charlene?
Oh my. Do I have to talk about myself? That's hard. But I'll do it because that's the protocol, right, John?
Yeah,
well, guys.
So folks know where you're coming from and a little bit about your story with Stream, and I think it's all good stuff. So we'll make it so you don't have to talk about yourself too long, but just enough so people know where you're coming from.
All right. Well, anyway, guys, welcome. This evening is going to be so super, super great. Number one, because you made the choice to come join with us this evening to take charge of your life and take charge of your business. Again, we do believe that you are the CEO of your business. But, of course, I'm here to tell you just a little bit about who I am so that you can kind of relate or maybe find somebody that you can relate my story to. My name is Charlene Day, and, yeah, he put up there an international educator. I basically am an advocate or an educational consultant, and I do that in several different countries. I've been an entrepreneur for, I'm not telling you how old I am, but, yeah, for over 20-some years. But I started this business, probably just like many of you, being introduced to this awesome opportunity by a friend that lived in Dallas, Texas. Anybody know where that is? Yes, okay, of course. That's where the Stream corporate office, that wonderful building that hosts all our wonderful corporate leaders, guys. So that person called me up and said, I have a wonderful opportunity for you. Do you know that energy has been deregulated? And I said, oh, I know the word deregulation because a few years back there was something called telecom deregulation, and I missed it. And I missed it because my goals was to be a bourgeois doctor. So I didn't need to get into network marketing stuff. That's just, no. I can make my money by being a doctor. That's what I wanted to do. But guys, when I had a friend that was about 24 years old, and their goal was not to go to med school, their goal was actually to go on to work with a company that I won't use their name, but they were a telecom company and in the network marketing industry, and they had done pretty well for themselves. And I had entered into their home, and their home was paid off based off of this network marketing scheme, you know, that I probably thought was. And they said, no, I've been doing this business for quite a while, Charlene. I told you to come along, and you didn't, you know, so but join us now. Guys, by the time I joined that business, it was already too late. I made exactly 10. That's $10 off of it. And you know what? I promised myself and vowed to myself and others that I would never, ever miss anything that had to do with deregulation. Well, and that's where Stream came in. My girlfriend talked about it, said, say no more. I'm signing up on the dotted line. Well, of course, I was back in computer age when computers were just coming out, or internet, of course. And so I signed up. The computer took a long time, and at the time, of course, it was called Ignite. Signed up, and I never turned back. I made managing director in 72 hours, and not to even mention that we were only in one state, and at that time that was Dallas, Texas, with the talk of opening up Georgia. So again, I am a woman to say I don't believe in excuses. I don't believe that you can say that I can't get any customers, because I just think that's yeah, an excuse, okay? So anyway, that is my story. I'm sticking to it. I've been with this company for a while. I love what they're doing for others and families and people like yourself. So again, I'm going to turn that back over to you, John. Hope that helps you guys know who I am.
Absolutely. Well, and every time we talk, I feel like I get to know you a little bit better too. So that's awesome. Now, Charlene, you're real passionate about the business. You said you've been in for about 5 years now. You know, back when it was Ignite, and we've really done an amazing job. The organization, I think, has done an amazing job over the past, really just the last year, in moving towards our single entity now, where we're Stream. And when you got started in this business, you had a why, and I'm sure your why maybe has morphed a little bit over the course of time. And of course, the three things that we're here really to talk about tonight are, the importance of a why and a person's reason, their passion. Talk about goal setting and then dream building. So, I'm basically really going to ask you to elaborate on, what did you see when you got in this, and what was your reason, and has that changed over the course of the 5 years, and where there's certain events maybe over the course of your Stream life cycle so far, your journey, if you will, that made it that way. So maybe touch on that a little bit.
Oh, absolutely, John. I am so glad you asked me to elaborate a little further. Guys, I joined this business, and I had no clue that I was basically what we call positioning myself. That's all I could hear was position myself for whatever reason, because the company was going to launch in many other states. I did my research, and I found out that Jimmy Carter had already put in place by the year 2017. Remind you, this is 2009 or something like that, and I'm joining this company, but I started doing my research, and I knew that the company, that eventually this would go nationwide. It was, written into policy. And so never mind that. I worked the business. I ran to the first leadership position, and I said, you know what? This is good, but I need to get back to my career. And at the time, I was a teacher, professor at one of the local colleges, and my spouse at the time, I had no clue, was about to lose his job. Okay, so I felt like the positioning part, when you hear me say position, I take it very, very serious. When my team hear me talk about positioning, they know exactly what I mean. Positioning to me means preparing for the future. That means getting in a position or getting yourself at a point, whether that's managing director, senior director, where when the business does take off where you need it to be, you're going to explode, okay? That's pretty much what my positioning is. Anyway, we were at a very critical point in our life where my job had promoted me, but my houses were going into foreclosure and short sale. Guys, this was happening back in 2008. And here I was, working at the university and about to, promote up into the academics, and I'm just really, really super excited. And I'm just, okay, no problem. We can handle this. We were not going to lose our house. We're not going to lose everything we worked so hard for. Well, guys, I had come to a point where the letters were coming in. The foreclosure letters, the attorney letters, the home association letters are coming in. Whatever you can think about was coming in, because we could not keep up our lifestyle, not with one income. Okay, the income from the new position hadn't happened quite yet, and of course I was like this part-time person because I still love to stay home with my son. So it's like I had to step it up. And so at the time, it was just getting harder and harder for us to keep it up and keep income into the house, because now the renters in the investment property weren't paying because they were being impacted by 2008, okay, economical downfall. And so we're having grace with them, but our mortgage isn't getting paid at our main home. Well, guys, one day I was sitting in the home, and I decided I was going to call out of work because I can't take it. And so I kept my son home, and I turned off all the lights, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to work. I'm calling in because I just feel like the sheriff is going to come today. And so I basically kept myself in the house, and every time there was like, well, sheriff lived in our neighborhood, and so every time like that car went by, I think it was like, Mr. Sam that was just coming home from his shift, I'm thinking like, he's coming to my house. I mean, literally, I thought he was coming to my house, the house on the hill, right? He doesn't come or whatever, but I'm still in the house. I'm really, excuse me, I hate to use this word because I'm Southern, but, lying to my superiors to tell them that I'm not going to be in, I'm not feeling well, can I please work from home? Why? Because I truly believe that they were going to padlock my home, and I wanted to be inside where I can create an exit in and out of my home. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to protect me and my son and my family because this was mine. I worked hard for this. I worked hard for the down payment. I worked hard to make sure that, they had a safe place to live, and my nieces and my nephew, my mom and them could come and enjoy this beautiful home. I dare someone threaten me to take it away. Guys, I was ticked off. So I knew I had to go back to work, but every day I would try to get off early to run back home to make sure that there wasn't another letter there or the sheriff hadn't yet come by. And so I knew I couldn't live with this life for so long, and I couldn't live like this any longer. So I only could depend on my dear Heavenly Father, which is God. I knew that I had to believe something bigger and better. I knew that something had to happen. Well, anyway, my house, of course, did not go into foreclosure or short sale, which was a huge blessing for us because I was listening to these positive affirmations through pastors and other people, telling me to plant seeds and so forth, so on and so forth. So anyway, as a result, a job opportunity came forth in the Maryland area. And I'm sorry, I will fast forward back to say that rewind. I will take myself back to say I lived in North Carolina at the time. I spent my whole life pretty much in North Carolina, but traveling. And so the job opportunity came aboard where I had to move to Maryland. I was like, great, we'll just put this house up for rent, and I'll be able to continue to keep it. And so anyway, that wasn't the case. I had to release all of that, sell the house, sell even the rental properties, and move to Maryland. Well, guys, this is what I mean when I say positioning myself. So I moved to Maryland. I take the position as a school teacher at this time at a private school. I was like, whoa, this is really cool, right? and as this PR person for one of the top basketball teams in the Maryland area, and really in the country. And so I said, "Ooh, I got my two favorite things, education and PR. Love it, love it, love it." And so I'm there, and I get a call from my upline leader, which happens to be Randy, and he says, we're coming to Maryland. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You guys been saying that for a while. And so I was like, okay, well, get excited. You're going to come to Maryland. I'm already MD. Who cares? Just come to Maryland, right? And so I get everybody excited about coming to Maryland. I get this fire in me, and I start recruiting people inside of the school, outside of the school, whatever. Then we get the news that, they're not opening up in Maryland yet. They're going to open up in PA. Okay, yeah, whatever. So long story short, and just, to get you to my point, is that they did open up in Maryland. But because I was a physician, I became pretty much the first senior director of Maryland. That was just so cool. But better than that, the job that I was working on was talking about cutting me again. Here I was. I left North Carolina to come here for you to cut my job and cut my pay. They were like, we're going to cut your pay. But something ironic was happening while the words was ringing through my ear. I was on my computer in my classroom looking at my back office, and I kept seeing checks for well, I won't tell you, but it was more than my monthly check as a school teacher there. So I said, you know what? I don't care. I had this peace that had come over me, because by the time there was continuing to open up Maryland, my team began to grow, and the weekly leadership income was continuing to grow. And I couldn't believe it. So guys, by the time the school year ended and they were ready to do evaluations and tell us what we were going to do and how much money they were going to take from us, I was sitting there in confidence, smiling, because I know that my 1 week check was covering my whole month check in that school. So I didn't care until this confidence was coming. And so guys, when you ask me my why is and still is, so that I can live life on my own terms, by all means necessary, so that I can pay off that dream home of mine and never ever have to worry about a knock on the door from a sheriff or hiding in my house simply because I feel like I have to protect it in my family. That is my why. And I work this company, and I work with people diligently. When they tell me, Charlene, I want more, I say, well, if you want more, guys, you got to give up on the excuses. If you want more, you got to want it bad enough to say, I'm never going back to live my life the way I used to live it. If you want more, you have to tell yourself that I am not going to live in fear, that I will take complete control of my destiny. And how do I do that? And I believe that we're going to go into that very soon. So I don't want to tie that up, but that's my why, guys. It is basically to live life on my own term and not live it in fear.
And it never ceases to amaze me, when I hear from people and when you talk, and I'm sure, Charlene, you see this too, and hear this when you talk to people. When you talk to somebody that's had success, had great success, or a level of success, let's just say, in your case, some really, really good success. Mm-hmm. You and a lot of other people, you had your back against the wall. You had to have something happen, and you were determined that this is going to happen for me. And like you just mentioned, toward the end of what you were talking about, it's if you really, really want to change where you are, you've got to change how you're thinking, because you're not going to get to someplace different by thinking the same way you were before. And this why, your purpose. We could talk about definitely what our stream purpose is, because obviously this is this business vehicle that we've decided to jump into, the rocket ship, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. We've got to understand that it's a long process. It's a process that takes time, and it works over the course of time. And so the why, our reason for being able to come back, has to be so strong that on the worst possible day that you can have in stream, which is
yes.
somebody might tell you no. you can put on your, you can just do your little pity party type story, and then you can move on. It has to be strong enough, like in Charlene's case here, that I am going to obtain my liberty and my freedom, and nobody is going to take that away from me. I mean, that is strong and powerful, Charlene. So that's, and you were going to go right into it. You were going to go into, I think, really where we're moving to next here, which is being able to, okay, so you've got a strong why and a sense of purpose, and then you have this vehicle, this rocket ship that can kind of take you there if you just stick with it and keep it simple. And to keep it simple, we do have to set some simple goals for ourselves. And why don't you tell us, Charlene, what you do and what you teach your team when it comes to goal setting, in the context of our stream business. So you've got a new person that has just started. What are you telling them about the importance of goals, or what are you showing them?
Yeah, I think it's very critical for us to have goals. I think is one famous author said, like, why would you build a house and not consider what tools you're going to need for it to happen? And that's similar. That's so similar. I remember getting a house built, and I'm not the architect, but I knew how I wanted it to look. I knew what rooms I wanted. I knew that I wanted the in-law suite just in case my mom or dad of them got sick. I knew that. I could visualize that. And so I think goals are very similar to that, where you have to draw out those goals. See, we got the bulk of the why. I want to have this house because I want my mother or my father or my in-laws to feel secure, that they have a place, correct? And so a part of the goals is drawing it out and saying, you know what, how do I get there? Well, guys, most goals that we set out for ourselves, we kind of need someone else to kind of help us with that. Would you agree? Like, I can draw things out, but I may not be the perfect designer, right? So when people are drawing out your homes, they're basically hiring an architect to say, this is what she really is saying she wants, because they don't know what the little circles are that you're drawing, right? And so you get someone else to help you interpret exactly the symbols that you are saying that you want, such as goal setting. Guys, in goal setting, you base it off your why. Your why is, check this out, if my why is that I never, ever, ever want to be in a position where my son does not, get what he needs, that my family feels unsafe, how do I go about making it happen? So your goals have to be your how. You understand that? Write that down. Your goals have to be your how. You know why you're doing what you're doing, but how are you going to do? Or what are you going to do to get what you got to get, right? So goal setting, deeply rooted within the heart and within the pure center of your why, is saying, this is how I'm going to get it. So now that you have this vehicle such as stream energy, you know that you have to figure out, what are some things that the leaders are telling me to do in order for me to make my why come to life? And one of the things they tell you to do is to get your contact list, right? So you can write that down. Your contact list. It never, ever fails. Write a contact list. I mean, some people are like, I have a contact list. It just doesn't work. No. It works. It works. It works because it is a part of what we call in business, or even in school. If we were trying to recruit over 1,000 students, we need some leads, right? So we need to ask around or look around or get some referrals for those, students. Well, guys, it's no different. If you own an ice cream shop and you decide to put up this ice cream shop in the middle of nowhere, how will people get to know where you were located? They don't, right? So if they don't know where you are, who you are, and where you're located, then they can't get to you, right? So a part of your goal setting is deciding, how will I get people to know who I am and what I do? Do you understand that? So what I tell my team is write out a contact list. Make it clear. Continue. You can start as low as 25. In our stream, which is my favorite, my stream plan, my freedom plan, I continue to use this. Why? Because it tells me the exact same thing that all the industry leaders are saying. Write out a contact list. Guys, it can be from people who are credible, they have a positive attitude. We talk about this. They're financially motivated. Guys, they got to have the money. Oh, my God, we already know they got to have the money. So part of my goal setting, again, that I teach my team is go on and set your goals on how many people are you going to talk to a week. What position do you want to be in within the next 30 days? Okay? And the other thing I tell them, well, what exactly, how much money are you looking to obtain on a monthly basis? So when I'm talking again, I'm letting them know that, listen, if you want to achieve these things, we now have to look at how many hours are you willing to sacrifice in order to get what you want. So my goal setting around my team is based on the simple principles that we already use within our Stream Freedom Plan. And that is to come up with your contact list. Set aside some time every single day to reach out to that contact list. That is as simple as it gets. And many people won't go back to this basics, but every single day you are calling someone on your contact list. And you say, well, Charlene, what happens if my contact list, just phased out and I called everybody? Well, go out there and talk to more people and create a new contact list. Every day your contact list should be growing. Every day. Because guess what?
These are great, great goals that people can set for themselves. And when you start talking about these things, Charlene, our contact list, making phone calls or talking to people, sharing our business opportunity with people, deciding on where we want to be in the business in a certain period of time, how much money we're interested in being able to earn. We are in a business. This is about us being able to generate income, of course, for our why, to be able to fuel our why. And our why can be multifaceted, but I think that you're spot on here. And I think our goals need to be really smart. They need to be what you talked about already, right? We need to be really specific about what we're trying to get done. We need to be able to measure. So your example of, hey, listen, if let's have a contact list. How about we add contacts to that list on a weekly basis or a daily basis? And how about we set a goal, right, for ourselves so we can measure it that says every day I'm going to add 2 people to my contact list.
Correct, yes.
Right, we can write that down, can't we? We can say every day I'm going to add 2 people to my contact list. That's your goal. And how do you go about doing that? Well, just what Charlene said. In the course of your everyday life, if you're out and about doing things, you're going to run into people you've never seen before or met before. You're gonna relate with them in some way, shape, or form, or strike up a conversation with them, and just to have a conversation, not so you can maybe throw stream up all over them. That's not the purpose of it at all. It's really for you to start to develop other relationships and add contacts to your list. You might only get a person's first name. That name goes on your list. You do that a couple times, right? I mean, you could add names to your list. You mentioned, talking to people. How many people would you like to talk to today? And those could be people that you eventually are going to set appointments with to share this business with. So how many appointments would you like to set per week? One a day? Right? I mean, these are, so we can be specific, right, and measurable, and we got to make sure that we can attain these things. We can't be unrealistic, and all of it's relevant, so it's smart and it's time-bound, right? We're talking about phone calls per week. So I just wanted to add to that and just say, guys, Charlene's right on the money here. These are the fundamental things and basics we do in our business, and we want to make sure that everything we do is achievable, and at all points, ultimately, this sounds crazy. You heard Charlene's why, right? Independence, liberty, freedom, calling life the way I want it called on my own terms. This seems nuts that we're talking about, well, making a list and making phone calls and showing plans. Guys, all of those things are relevant to getting to what you want. That's our plan, right, Charlene? So not to go too long, I just wanted to
it's
circle
a simple
that,
plan. So I think we go back to it. I think we do talk about it a lot in education. It's our SMART goals, and they probably heard it over and over again, but it goes back to definitely, like you said, writing that list. Can I tell them that one of the things I do intentionally, and let me share a personal one. One of the things I do intentionally is I build rapport. And a lot of us feel like we have to share the business immediately. Let me tell you, just, like you said, throw up all over them. Where part of your goal setting and creating your list daily is to go out. If you're at the grocery store, just to say hey to Jennifer, the cashier. Like, I love CVS because it's always the same cashier. And I'm always trying to just figure out, what are you doing today, Jennifer? Like, what do you do? Like, is this your only job? And you're like, okay. She's like, no. And we're having that conversation, but I never say anything about string to her. And so, therefore, I'm building a rapport with her where she actually knows my name. Like, hi, Charlene. I'm like, oh, hi, how are you doing? And I may drop something and say, I'm getting this card for one of my, business associates or such. She said, oh, you're always buying these, nice cards for them. And I was like, yep, that's what I do. And so I just keep going. And so find a way to build rapport in order to build your list, and see, basically that's what you're doing. Jennifer is on my list, and she may not say nothing to me for a whole year. I may not say anything to her for a whole year. Well, not that long, sorry. In about 6 months, I'll give her some time.
I am going to find CVS. I am going to talk to her before you do.
Work Jonathan and Jennifer. I'm telling you, it works. Yes.
Well, that's phenomenal. So, it's just so important that we just make sure, to stay on the straight and narrow, that we do, and these are really simple things. And think about how this can translate over into your own personal life as well, right? If you start setting goals for these simple things that can help you get to your why with this rocket ship that we have, this vehicle that we can jump into. What about, how does that translate, right, Charlene, into our own personal lives? We're talking about stream here, but what about your faith? And what about your friendships and your family and your finances in general? What about all those things, and how maybe just a little goal setting and a little bit of planning might be able to completely transform your life, the relationship, right?
Wow, you just said the key word. You said planning. They said, listen, if a person doesn't plan, they plan to fail. So that's basically what goal setting is all about. Planning it out. And we talked about the architecture, designer, you designing your home and wanting them to know where the in-law suite is and the bathrooms and things like that. Guys, it's very similar. Every week you should sit down on a Sunday night and plan out your entire week. And matter of fact, go back over it every single night before you go to bed and check to see, did I accomplish that which I said I was going to do, starting on that Sunday night before I went to bed, to plan out the week. Planning is critical. And you find a lot of people, and I know many of you that are leaders, such as me and John, or maybe you're a senior director, managing director, and you're starting to build a team. But I'm telling you, we have a lot of people that are probably scattered. I was talking to someone and they said, oh, I don't want you to talk to them because I don't want them to think we're pushing them. And I realized that there were still some skill sets that were not there in this particular, person. I was like, you know what? Let's sit down and talk about, how do you plan to go after a particular prospect? Because if you don't understand how to go after the prospect, which is all about planning, like when I go into CVS, I have a plan. That's a part of my goal. I intentionally, which we talked about last night, be intentional. I am intentionally building a relationship. No, it's not phony. It's not vague. It's not pretentious. What it is saying that I care about this person enough to learn who they are. They may or may not be the right person or the right fit for me or for my team or even for the company. It may not be for them. And guess what? A lot of people say it's for everybody. And I say, well, I kind of disagree. It may not be for everybody, or it may not be the right time for everybody. So again, plan, be intentional concerning who you target and why are you targeting them. It's all about the planning. So I'm glad you brought that back up as far as, our why. And again, us going after the things that we know that we desire. Plan.
That's right. That's right. And, I'll just say to everybody on the line that, guys, we're not going to hit all our goals. But if you don't have anything to measure against, you're just a meandering generality. Anyone can jump in the car and drive nowhere if you don't have any sense of direction, or you haven't pulled the map out to say, hey, this is where I'm going. And to get to where you're going, there are going to be stops along the way, and you may not get to where you're going on the time frame that you plan. Life has a crazy way, and our universe has a crazy way of kind of getting you right to where you need to be and where you're supposed to be, and not where you wanted to.
Right.
But you're never going to get to where you want to if you don't set aside a little bit of time to be able to plan that out. And I love what you said too, Charlene. I think at the Sunday is a great time to be able to kind of just reflect on the week that just went by, take a look at what you set for your goals, and see what you hit, and celebrate a victory, a small victory. I said I was going to add some contacts to my list every day, one a day, and I did. Look, here's a day I did 2. Hey, I was going to make phone calls every day. I was going to set 5 appointments this week. I set 6. You know what? I only set 3, but I set 3. All right, you know what? I need to step it up. I'm going to step up my game this week. I'm going to make up for what I didn't do. If you're not measuring any of that stuff at all, and those are income earning activities, every single one of them, because that's how we get to our why. So that planning is so critical, Charlene. And I want to kind of jump on it. Just looking at the time, I'm cognizant we started a little bit late because of me just coming back from Massachusetts, and then I gave you the wrong dial-in information. So.
Oh, no, it's okay. No problem. Things happen, and hey, it's all a part of planning. But guys, sometimes things happen even when you plan. So he planned to be here, but guess what? You don't hold that against anybody. You just say, you know what? That happens.
I did not plan on it in an hour and a half to go to get over the George Washington Bridge in New York tonight. So,
yes,
bad planning on my part, or maybe it was all that road construction. Who knows? But
road construction.
I know this is one of your favorite subjects, Charlene, and it's really I'd forgotten how to do this, and it's sad to think about. But building your dreams and dream building, I got to tell you, it's one of my favorite things to do now, and we're doing this more and more as a family together as well than we have in eons, and it almost feels like forever. Being able to kind of just expand on, really on your why or on your purpose, but being able to just kind of let everything go and let your mind go all the places it wants to. Talk to us a little bit about how you dream and what you dream about, and how you try to bring that sensation to your team and to the people that you're around as a leader.
Oh my goodness, I dream. Oh, okay, sound like Martin Luther King. All right, guys. Oh my God, this is one of my favorite because I have a dream board, and this summer, if you ladies, and I know men too, are in the hot and sizzle, women of power deal, that's what we're going to be doing. Secret is out. Okay, guys. So anyway, I have this vision board. I have one for my team. I have one for my life, my own personal life. I have one for my family. And it's this dream building, right? So a part of it is because I want so much for other people, almost as much as I want for myself. And so when I dream of freedom for myself, I dream of that freedom for other people. And so even people that are not even on my direct team, but maybe because they're a part of my stream family, I dream for them. I'm like, listen, what if we could make 20, what if we had 1,000 customers times the 21, how much money would that be? How many people's lives would be set free? Like $5,000 a month, well, how great would that be, and how would that feel, and how would that change the lives of my stream family and those that are soon to come into our stream family? And so I paint that picture to them and say, listen, you can have this. Well, Charlene, how can we have this? Oh, guys, let's just put together a couple of things and tell me what you want. And they're like, well, let's see, what do I want? You want a house? Yes. You want to pay it off? Yes. Then put the house on there that you want to be paid off. Ding, ding, ding. Why does Charlene want that house paid off? Because I don't ever, ever, ever want to feel like someone's going to take something from me that belongs to me that I worked so hard for. So guess what? Some of my people feel the same way. Maybe they've never had a house. Maybe they've experienced homelessness. Maybe they've experienced getting foreclosed. I don't know, but they want a house. They want their dream house. And so I paint that picture. Imagine if your children can go to any university in the world that they wanted to. Guys, that's huge to me. I homeschool my 8-year-old, well, now he's 9-year-old son. And guess what? That's what I want for him. I want to be able to come out of my pocket and say, go wherever you want. You worked hard. But before that, I want to be able to say, you know what? I don't have to tell him no, that you can't participate in chess, or you can't have the tutor you need because you're behind in a certain, skill set or class. Guys, I paint the picture so that you, a streamer, as my team members, my family, can see that you too can have this. I paint the picture that, how about if you can make at least $100 a month, just $100 extra a month. Woo! Somebody said, just 100? That's good. Somebody said, oh, well, I can use it. Did you say 500? Yeah, 500. Then let's put a $500 up there. What would 500 extra dollars do for you if you can make that per month? Oh, they're like, that would do a lot for me, Charlene. I'm like, oh, well, great. Guess what? You can have it. Let me show you how to do it. And so, John, because I love drawing out things, and the teacher at heart comes into me, I'll figure out how we're going to make 500 together. I'll go on that compensation plan. I'll show them. I'll draw it out, and I'll say, $1.50 times blank, blank, blank. This many associates times this coming into your business every single month looks like this. It looks like it's going to equal $500 a month. These are how many people you got to go out and recruit for the next 6 months to a year to be able to have $500 a month extra and still keep your regular full-time job. Would that be okay with you? Oh, John, they say, oh, yes, that sounds great. Well, all right, we got something to work for. That's dream building to me. Because people can feel and touch and see. They can hear it, and it's there for them. And then from 500 can be the 1,000, because if you can accomplish 100, you can accomplish 500. If you can accomplish 500, you can accomplish 1,000. If you can accomplish 1,000, you can certainly accomplish $10,000. And so when we talk about dream building, you paint a picture. You don't have to be Picasso. You can be, I don't know, you can be a Curl, you can be a Joe, you can be whatever you want. But you paint the picture for your team members so they can see it and believe it. And so now they're running to RD because they know they're going to pay this house off one day. They're going to achieve that $100. And then they'll achieve MD, SD, ED, whatever level they want. Maybe it's not about the position of being at the highest level of the company. It may just be that I'm around my wonderful friends making an extra $100 a month. Guys, wherever your dreams are, paint it out so that others can hear it and see it and feel it. Guys, someone wants the same things that you want. Help your team. Help others that want it as well that has not joined this Stream family. That's what it's all about. And that's your why. All wrapped up into goal setting to have the future look even brighter. John?
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. And it really does put it all together, doesn't it, right? When you work with someone to understand what they're dreaming about, that's their reason, and then you chart out the course, that's your plan, and you can set your goals just based on what that plan looks like. And it really doesn't take a lot of effort to do that. It takes breaking away from being maybe beat down by the way society beats you down and life has a tendency to do over the course of time, because we've kind of drifted. You know, we've drifted away from the dreamers that we used to be when we were just young, and the world was ours, and we were right. We were right then, and then we let all sorts of life just kind of get it in the way and sort of beat us up and beat us down. And this gives us the opportunity to dream again and to pursue these things. And realistically, you've got a rocket ship you can jump on to get there. So, Charlene, this has been phenomenal. I really, really appreciate your time tonight. I know everybody else on the line does as well. I guess what I'll do is I'll have you just kind of say whatever's on your heart in closing with respect to what we talked about here tonight, or anything that's on your mind in general with respect to Stream and where we're going, any excitement that you've got, anything special that's coming up around the corner for that you want to make sure that people are aware of. It's the world is your oyster. Go ahead.
Oh my God, guys! I wish I wouldn't have said it because now I want to cry so much. I am tearing up right now because this week I was in North Carolina, and oh my gosh, and I was working really hard for my team and other people that were not on my team, but I asked that if you ever need anything from me, we're a Stream family, and whatever you need, I will be there for you. So if I'm working in North Carolina, guys, you're welcome to send them to me and send them with our people, and because we're a family. And this week I was very blessed because corporate made a decision to have a corporate meeting in the North Carolina area. And not one, but two guys, just two. I'm like, look at my God, whoa. I'm like, this is amazing. And I'm like, I am from North Carolina, guys. I'm not from Maryland. I'm just a good Southern girl. And so to be able to go back home to a state in which I started Stream, it's amazing. I can't tell you how honored I am. I can't tell you how just blessed that I've been with this company, and that not only have they shown their appreciation for me being faithful over the few things and the little bumps in the road that have come along. Guys, I am so grateful that I did not give up on Stream. I am so grateful that when they said they were coming to North Carolina, they were coming to Maryland, and they didn't come into, they went on to Pennsylvania, I didn't let that deter me. I didn't let that happen. But guys, if you're listening to me tonight, I want you to write this down, because this is so important, and this is where I've been for the past, I say 6 months. I've been so focused and just to, receive the Power Leadership Award. Guys, that wasn't just didn't just happen. It happened because I was intentional. It happened because I was consistent. And it happened also, guys, because I was focused. And if you can write those 3 things down for me right now, I'll be talking about a whole lot. I don't care what conference call I get on, what webinar I do, whatever. But I encourage you to be the same way. Be intentional. Be consistent. And be focused. Being intentional means that anything that you set your mind to, continue to do it with straight force. Anything that's in your way, it has to go. It just has to go. Because a part of your why is to say, this is why I'm doing it. So we don't say, why are you doing it? Why are you so intent on doing it? Because it's your why that makes you intentional. And when you're intentional, you can be consistent. Consistent to make the phone calls, go to the meeting, start the meeting, be there when no one else is there. You know, block out the complainers, block out the naysayers. Say, no one's showing up, nothing's happening, I can't give you food, I can't do. Yeah, block out all them. Be consistent. Guys, if you can't beat them, you don't just have to join them. You just have to keep being consistent at hard work. Hard work pays off. Be consistent. And guys, be focused. Because when you're focused, the whole world lines up with you to be focused with you. They see you. They want some of you. They need it. They know. They feel the energy. When you are focused, everything in your life lines up to say, that's what I want. I want some of her. I want some of him. That's what you want. You don't want to be wishy-washy, joining that business, doing this. No, if you want to be a senior director, executive director, whatever you might want, guys, you got to be focused. Don't hang with the crew and make them feel like, oh, I can't. No, we can't talk about them. What we have to do is stay so focused that whatever the naysayers or everybody else is doing, you can't even hear them. You put them on mute. Yeah, them on mute. That means their mouth is moving, but you can't hear nothing. Nothing they're saying. That's what you got to be.
Be intentional.
Yes, be intentional. There you go.
Focus.
Be consistent and be focused. Thank you, guys. I'm Charlene Day.
Charlene, thanks a million for being here tonight. Hey, listen, Art, Carol, Diana, and all the folks that are on the line. I'm not going to go down the whole list here, but thanks a lot for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure. Thanks for dealing with me and getting on a few minutes late in our technical snafu at the beginning. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I hope tonight was helpful for you. It is to me each and every week. Charlene, you're terrific. Thanks a lot, and I hope you'll join us again sometime real soon.
I will, most definitely. Yes, sir. Just anytime you need me, I am here for my stream family, whatever you guys need. Yes. Let's do this thing. Let's rock together.
Sounds like a plan. Awesome. You're terrific. God bless you. God bless all you guys. God bless America. And you guys have a terrific night, okay? Take care now.
All right, good night.